Redistricting or / gerrymandering has always been tied to the census. So that's why it's happened every 10 years traditionally in America. The fact that Texas decided to leapfrog that and do a mid-decade redistricting, and that triggered California to fight back. And now we're seeing states all over the country doing that, just making the problem worse, right? You're drawing the lines to congressional districts so that if it's a Democratic state, they make as many safe blue districts as possible. If it's a Republican state, they make as many safe red districts as possible. What that means is that if your district is going to vote Democratic no matter what, or if your district is going to vote Republican no matter what, it means that all of the action in the electoral sphere is with the primary. So winning the Democratic primary means you're going to win the general election in the fall if you're in a blue district, and vice versa if you're in a Republican district, which means that all this competition is happening within the parties. And if you're having competition that's just within one party, whether it's the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, it tends to mean that the faction of that given party that's most activist and most active and most likely to give money and most likely to show up for primary elections, which, happen at odd times during the year and they're all over the calendar, those voters tend to dominate, which means that the far right dominates Republican primaries and the far left dominates Democratic primaries. And so everybody who's an elected representative, they're not worried about having to compete for voters in the center. They're worried about what's going to happen to the primary. This is how Donald Trump has had so much power in the Republican Party. He's basically said, if you don't agree with me, I will find a primary opponent for you. And if Donald Trump picks a primary opponent on the Republican side, that primary opponent's not guaranteed to win, but has a really good chance of winning. So if you're a Republican who would normally be, worried about moderate voters and independent voters in the middle of the electorate, and you're like, but I'm in a safe Republican district, and the only way I can lose my seat is in a primary, if Donald Trump decides to put somebody in a primary and bless that person. So I got to stay on Donald Trump's good side. And the same thing is true, though there's no singular figure like that on the Democratic side. Democratic primaries are also dominated by the progressive base. And so everybody's worried about somebody getting to their left, or on the Republican side, somebody getting to their right. So that's a huge factor in what's made our politics way more polarized.